Got that camera going?
Yeah, it's going.
Okay, what we're doing here is this is a 64 Volkswagen Bug. Now, if Minnie can show you the roof up there, get a good angle of that, please. Show everybody what happened here. We already know the backstory. A large tree fell on the hood up here. And what we're going to do is this is a little bit different type of repair that I'm going to show you. And we're going to actually save that roof. Alright? But the way that we're going to save it, it's going to take a lot of time and a lot of patience. So what I'm doing right now is I'm actually removing all the interior because I need all this floor space. And I can't use the floor to help me fix that roof because I'll put a hole into the floor. Do you see what I'm saying? So I'm going to have to build me a jig that I can run up and down the center of this hump here, and it's going to have to rest on the rocker panels, and then I'll be able to go back and forth or do whatever I need to do to fix this roof. And the way that we're going to fix that, we're going to use a porta-power, and I'm going to show you that. But we also got some other tricks up our sleeve that we're going to use. We're going to go ahead and use a shrinking disc. I'm going to show you what that tool does and what it is. And we're also going to use heat as a tool to shrink with. And we're going to get involved in that. So our main objective on this little car is to fix that roof without replacing it, because if we have to replace the roof on this car, that is very, very extreme. It's a very precise job. Everything has to be lined up perfect, so all these windows right here that you can see fit in the holes perfect, the back glass, the front glass. But what makes this a good candidate at fixing this roof, and let me get out of this car and show you. Now, this used to be my car. The lady that bought this car from me sent it all the way down here for me to fix it. But watch that other video. It'll explain the whole story about the car. If we look right here, what makes this car a good candidate to fix is it only got hit in this section here. And I'm going to get some tape and I want to outline that. And I'm going to show you why we should be able to fix this instead of replace it.
Welcome to D.I.Y. Automotive School with my friend Pete and Minnie, the body shop girl. It's everything you need to know about cars and more.
So if I take my tape, I'm going to kind of draw you a little road map here. If you look at the top right here where my hand rolls around, this is where the windshield line is. Okay? And you can see that we got approximately, I would say what, 4 inches, 5 inches?
4 or 5 inches.
Before it even starts hitting that curve right there. So the front of this is in real good condition. If you look right there, that it didn't get into that, serious roll. Come on over here. All right, we're going to go ahead and finish this out. Now, if you look right here, you can see the door fits really nice. Okay, it closes good. The tree fell from that side, and it came this way. And it was a very big tree. I'm actually shocked that this is all the damage. But look at that drip rail. You can see it rides really nice. But right when we get to here, we still got a good drip rail. It didn't crush anything in this area right here. All right, this window fits really, really nice and tight. It's still making it a good candidate even though we got this problem here. And this is where our heat's gonna come in. Remember I was telling you about that heat, using your heat. So we're gonna bring that out here, just like this. And then if we come back over here, just like the front windshield, you can see the back windshield here. Okay, we got about the same distance. It didn't get in to the opening of the window. If this would have got into the opening of the window, then we would have had problems. All right? But because it didn't get into any of the openings of the window, and I'm going to go ahead and outline this. Where are we at? There we are. Okay, because this is where the dents are stopping. This is what I'm trying to show you here. Okay? Looky here. Come on over here. It got this drip rail just a little bit, but look what's going on. Do you see that low spot right here where it pushed that door and crushed that in? But the door still opens. Okay? All right, we don't have any damage in this area here. This window's really good. All right, this quarter panel is not buckled in any way whatsoever. There's no dents. There's no cave-ins or concaves on any of the surrounding panels. So we're going to come over here. We're going to take our tape. We're going to come around right here, see? And then basically what I just did, if Minnie could get the camera up here. Now, can you go ahead and do that? All right, now you can see here's our road map. So from hitting it right here instead of over here or over here, if it would have hit over here, what would have happened? It would have crushed this window section and it would have pushed the roof like that. Does that make sense?
Yep.
And what would it have done? It would have pushed everything forward, which would have caused this opening to get a gap in it. It would have cracked the windshield for one. This window post on both sides probably would have buckled up. It would have pushed it this way. This would have all crushed in. It would have brought this quarter panel into this door. This door would have been pushed into here. By pushing the back of it this way, it would have brought the door up into it. So by getting hit dead center, just like it did, is going to give us the opportunity to fix this car. Now, if this comes out as an easy fix, it's going to be a nice day for my friend Pete. All right? But if we look back in the car, let's go ahead and show everybody this car if you can open that door over there. Now that we got our road map of what's going on. So to fix this car is going to actually take a lot of work, and not just over here at SWRC, but at the upholstery shop as well, because we have to remove this whole headliner, and a headliner in a Volkswagen is not like a regular car. It wraps around the whole inside of the car. So to get this headliner put in, we'll have to take the car to another facility and another place. We also have to take out pretty much all the interior to do this job, and I'm hoping that this brake handle won't be in the way. If it is, we'll have to remove that. We can put our seat belts out of the way like this. Okay, we have to remove this piece. We got to get the back seat out, and then of course we got to take these windows out. So all the windows out, the door panels in the back, everything's got to come out. We're going to rip out the headliner completely. We're going to get this thing down to bare metal, and then we're going to go ahead and start popping this baby out. And I'm going to show you the tools that I'm going to use to do that with, and hopefully it's going to be a nice easy job. We're going to use minimal filler on this. When I say filler, I'm talking about Bondo, whatever you want to call it, body putty, blah blah blah. We're going to try to use our porta-power system. We're going to use our
Shrinking disc.
shrinking disc. Thank you, Minnie, the body shop girl. And we're also going to use our heat torch to get all this back in shape. When you're doing a job like this, the thing that you want to concentrate on is the high spots. And the reason we got to use the porter power is because we got to go really, really slow. And another thing doing this type of job, you got to know where to start pushing on it. You don't start right in the center of that dent. If you start in the center of that dent, it's going to stretch the edges. It's hard to explain. When we get to that stage, I'm going to show you that. I'm going to get this interior gutted out. It's going to take a couple hours to do that. And then we're going to start fixing the 64 Volkswagen Beetle. All right, bring that board over here.
The one on the ground or this?
No, the big one, that one. Over there. Slide it through.
This is a big Ford.
Yeah.
It is heavy.
Yep. All right, what I'm doing here is I'm making a pedestal for my porta-power. The roof on this Volkswagen has been crushed in tremendously. We're going to look at that and I'm going to show it to you. And the reason I'm making this pedestal is because we don't want to use the porta-power on the floor itself. So this is going to be a pedestal that I can move back and forth along the area that I need to use it on. Alright, now that we got our wood box built, you can see right here, I went ahead and added some wood to it, and that's going to be so when we, like I said earlier, I don't want to use the porta-power on the floor, because by you doing that, it has a good chance of either bending the floor plan itself, or putting a hole in the floor. So we went ahead and removed all of the headliner out of the car. You can see how nasty it looks down inside here. When you look inside, it really looks bad. And this is the roof that we got to fix right here. Everything you see in yellow has to be fixed. So we're going to go ahead and use the porta-power on this job, and I'm going to show you how to get a dent like this out. It's going to be a time-consuming job. I can tell you that right now. And I think where I'm going to start is right here in this area. I'm going to go ahead and see if I can get my machine right here and see if I can go ahead and jack that up very slowly. Now, the problem we have with this area right here is that there is a double wall right here that crushed with it. So we might have to do some drilling and pulling to get this out. And when I say that, I'll have to drill some holes in here and use my slide hammer due to the fact that it is crushed in right here. And if we look over on the other side of the car, you can basically see what I'm talking about. We ought to get that all back in shape just like it is. Right there. So before we get our porta-power out, what we're going to do is we're actually going to pull this out right here. We're going to go ahead and pull this out. We're going to be as careful as possible doing it. I don't want to use any hammers on this from underneath, because what happens when you start hitting those with hammers, what happens is it starts stretching the metal out. And when you stretch the metal out on something like this, it can really get monotonous. So on this particular dent with this big crease right here, and then you got a sharp crease here and here, what I'll do is I'll drill some holes, because I will weld them back up, and then I'm going to use my slide hammer to pull that out. Now remember, there's a double wall right here on this edge that we'll have to hammer and dolly back in place underneath. So let me get my drill out, and we're going to start working on this roof and get her done. Alright, we're ready to start pulling this thing out. Now we got to be really careful, because like I said, we don't want to stretch the metal. Let me show you what I got here. I got a nice little palm dolly. It's got a nice crescent on it this way that we're going to use underneath. And I also brought my rubber/plastic hammer over here. I don't know what kind of hammer you would call that, but we're going to try to use this as much as possible. And then I also got my typical body hammer that we're going to be using. I brought this long reach with me just in case, so I can get in here and pound that out. So let's go ahead and get this section first, due to the fact that it's got that double wall steel right there. We can't use our porta-power on that. So what I'll do is I'll take my 1/4 inch drill, and I'll go ahead and do next is get my drill out of the way. And then I'm going to take my slide hammer and I will pop it down in the hole. And then when I say slide hammer now, I want you to watch. I'm not going to slide real hard. I'm only going to slide hard enough to get the dent out because we don't want to stretch. Remember this now. It's always about stretching the metal. So we're just going to go ahead and get our handles tight first. Okay. We're just going to do a little bit at a time. We're not going to try to get the whole dent out with one pull. And then I'll get this in here. And you can see it coming out as I am doing this. But it takes time. Now we're also trying to fix this little car to the extreme of only painting what we need to paint. We don't want to have to paint the whole car. And you can see that actually pulled out really, really nice. Now I do have a high spot in this area, but I'll be able to get that out. Let's go ahead and continue to pull on our other tool holes that we pulled on. To drill holes in anything other than this right here, hopefully. Because when you're doing a job like this and then you got to weld these holes up, that creates a lot of heat. And we need to stay away from the heat because when you get heat in there, then you get shrinking and stretching going on, and then it basically ruins the roof. So this is a very, very touchy job here. I'm going to let you know that now. I'm going to go ahead and take my rubber / plastic hammer, and I can still feel that this goes all the way, that piece in there goes all the way to here. This is where it ends. So let me try something else because we need to pop this out down here. Let me get a pry bar and maybe I can finesse it out by possibly trying to get dentless paint repair going on. Alright, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my pry bar and you can see where I pulled it out right here using my Big Daddy slide hammer. And down inside here, if Minnie could kind of get in there, you can see where my hand is. Can you see that down in there? Minnie, the body shop girl. This is that section that overlaps. So I got to get under that with my pry bar, and then I'm going to try to pry this out and finesse it the best I can. So we'll let Minnie, the body shop girl, look at that while we're doing this and tell me if anything's happening. I don't know if it's going to work or not being in the area that it's in. I might have to bend this down. I think I'm going to have to bend this down to get behind there. Let's look and see. You ready? Nothing. Is anything happening out there? What's going on?
No, nothing's really happening.
Okay, so that's not going to work for us. So what I'll do is I will actually literally, since this is real thin metal right here, I'm going to get in there and bend this down. I'm going to bend this whole lip down so I can get behind there to straighten that roof out. Now remember, our headliner rides across here. Now I want to let everybody know that I'm doing this with just common hand tools. We don't have fancy tools. Okay, I got a couple chisels here. I got some big channel lock pliers. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to bend this down. I have confidence in myself that I'll be able to straighten it out. So I'm not worried about it. Just got to get it out of the way for right now so we can straighten our roof. Our roof is our main culprit on this section right here. Okay, so by bending that down, now what I've done, I've created a space where I can get behind here with some of my tools and hopefully straighten that out. All right, I'm going to take this concrete chisel that you're looking at, and I'm also going to take my framing hammer, and I'm going to go ahead and chisel that out a little bit. Not doing it very hard, just very carefully getting this out. This is our main deal right here, is to get this dent repaired. This is a big deal in this corner, because I think all the rest of it will come out. But this one here is kind of rough, so where's it at? Right here?
Yeah, right there.
Okay, so if I take my chisel, how's it?
That looks good.
Right there?
Yeah.
Okay. Now what we'll do is we'll go ahead and hit this a little bit, this area right here, but instead of using our concrete chisel, I'm going to go ahead and use this chisel right here, and we're going to try to pop that out. Now we got to be really careful when doing this, because this is where you get into the situation of stretching your metal. And before I do that, where's that rubber hammer? Can I have it, please? Okay. I'll go ahead and try this first. Now this is plastic, this is rubber. Let's see what happens.
Looking real good.
Okay, so we're going to go ahead and take our concrete chisel one more time, and then I see where this body line is, right? Where's it at? Right here? Oh, that's
Right.
down here? Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take this, and then what I'll do is I'll finesse it back into the shape that I need.
Looking good.
Okay, so let's go ahead and get this. So I want to show you the possibilities of owning a tool like this. Now this is just a concrete chipper or a concrete chisel, but look at the space that it covers more than your regular chisel, see? So you'll All right, what I'm going to do is there's a high spot here and a high spot here. So what I'll do is I'll take my hammer and I'm just going to, okay, so that looks pretty good right there. We got a little bit of a high spot right there. Yeah, that's looking really nice, so we're going to leave that alone. There's another high spot right here. And you can tell because the paint is chipped around, it's pushed it up. So I'll take my hammer. And then that there looks pretty good. I got to do some work on this area right here before we go any further, and this isn't pulled out all the way like many thought it was. Do you see that right there?
Yeah, it's still pretty low.
Okay.
Right there.
So you basically got the concept of what's going on here. I'm going to go ahead and get this straightened out, and when we get this all done, this little area here, we're going to move forward on getting this mess taken care of. This has got to be done first before this mess can even be started on.
for watching D.I.Y. Automotive School. Classes don't stop till you know everything.